So without wasting any of your time, I will start with the video. I will tell you how you should prepare for the banks exam, especially at the clerical level. I can promise you that what I'm gonna tell you, no teacher or aspirant has ever told you before with this much clarity. I'm not just gonna tell you what you should do, I'm also gonna tell you why you should do that. One of the biggest myths you have is that I can clear the exam by just completing a course. So you keep revising the syllabus and never give any mocks. And when you don't clear the exam, you think maybe I didn't complete the course clearly or completely. It's all bullshit. Let me save you some time. Every IQ or government exam is cleared by strategies, not by just completing a course. You need to give mock papers weekly when you're in the middle of completing a syllabus, and daily when there are only 60 days left for the exam. This way you will have a clear idea what kind of questions really come in the prelims examination. You have to understand, prelims examination is all about giving large number of accurate answers in a limited time. They are not testing if you know everything, they are testing if you know how to do large number of calculation in limited time and your level of hyper focus. Now you might be thinking why mock papers are so important. If you have thought about this, you are already on the right path. To understand this deeply, you need to listen to an experiment. One time a professor divided his film photography class into groups. Group A would be graded on quantity. They were asked to click as many pictures as they could. So if you clicked 100 pictures, you would be graded A. If you clicked 96 pictures, you would be graded B, and so on. The second group, Group B, would be graded on quality. They need to click perfect pictures in the least attempts. So if you clicked a perfect picture in just one attempt, you would be graded A. If you clicked a perfect picture in 3 attempts or 2 attempts, you would be graded B, and so on. Now who do you think has clicked the best pictures? Quality group or the quantity group? Most often than not, people would say the quality group. But the reality is quantity group always click the best pictures. This leads to an important conclusion. Quantity leads to quality. Therefore, the more you obsess over perfection, the more you create bad results. But the more you obsess over volume or quantity, the more you create good results. That is why you need to give as many mock papers as you can give before the real exam. Volume or quantity is your window to rapidly improve your skill. Therefore, the more you experience real paper by giving mock papers, the more you create good results. But the more you obsess over perfection by giving just 1 or 2 mocks, the more you create bad results. Also take your time with each mock paper. See where you are lacking, what topic you need to improve on, how can you perform better, what strategy you can use, how far are you away from the cutoff, are you doing it in the desired time, all these things. In the beginning, don't pay too much attention to the numbers you are getting. Of course, you're not gonna get much marks. You just started. Focus on the progress or current trajectory. If you focus too much on the desired result, you will not be able to change. Just be consistent, and with time you're gonna get 40-50 marks, and with time you will start to get 60-70, and if you are diligent enough, you will start to get 70 and 80 marks. I remember I used to get 15 to 20 marks in the beginning. So please be kind to yourself in the beginning. You just don't have to give up. If you feel like giving up, then give up for 1 or 2 days and then come back. Trust me when I say the numbers you are getting in the mock papers right before the real exam are almost as equal to the numbers you are gonna get in the real exam. So please give mock papers. I give mock papers on olive wood, so you can use that. If you have any other preferences, it's totally okay. But do give mock papers as seriously as you would give the real exam. Close the doors of your room, recreate the same experience of the real exam. But always give your mock paper on a computer. If you don't have that, you can give it on your smartphone, but never give mock papers through hard copies. There is a reason for that. For starters, you can see almost all the paper by flipping a page. But on a computer, you can hardly see a one question at a time. By giving mock paper on a computer, you also get used to the timer and the pressure that comes with it. In the beginning, the timer sounds like a ticking bomb, quite literally. The timer makes you panicky and you end up making a lot of mistakes. But with time, you're gonna get so comfortable with the timer that you won't even get nervous even when time is closing on you. So I hope after watching this video, you will give as many mock papers as you can. Forget about goals, focus on the system. system instead. Now first we have to understand what is a goal. A goal is the end toward which our effort is directed. Like for you, clearing the exam is a goal. Now what is a system? System is a series of habits or steps that a person takes to get to that goal. The thing is, you do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Because every aspirant at the start of the year has the same goal to clear the exam. Not everyone clears it, do they? So it's definitely not the student who has the best goals, but the student who has the best system in place to achieve that goal. Your results have very little to do with having the best goals, but everything to do how seriously you have followed your system. I can have a goal that I'm going to be physically ripped by the end of the year, but if I don't follow the system religiously, of course nothing is going to happen. So forget about goals, focus on the system instead. So if you really want to clear the exam, your focus should rather be how many hours do you invest studying daily? Do you study at least 5 to 8 hours every day? Do you read editorial every day? Do you do 10 puzzles every day? Do you do 5 to 10 questions of data interpretations every day? How consistent are you? How many mock papers do you give weekly? How many marks are you getting? Do you see improvement? Do you follow up with your promises? Do you stick to a strict schedule? How often do you revise? All your energy should be focused on creating the best systems according to your needs and sticking to it every day. This should be your biggest concern. Number 4. Numbers don't lie. When I started my aspirant journey, I always wondered, how many hours do I have to invest daily to clear the exam? After keeping track of my productivity hours for 2 years, I have come to a conclusion that around 1200 to 1500 hours of studying in a year is enough to clear the prelims examination of clerical. What I'm saying is that if you study at least 5 hours a day, you can clear the prelims examination of clerical. But this doesn't mean you can clear it by studying anything. You have to be smart about your strategy. I will talk about that later. Right now, I want to talk about why you should keep track of your productivity hours. We often have a distorted view of our own behavior. On good days, we overestimate ourselves. On bad days, we underestimate ourselves. Because of this phenomenon, we never realize how we truly perform on a day-to-day basis. This is exactly why I started keeping track of my productivity hours daily with the help of Google extension Make Time. This is the best tool I found for tracking my productivity hours daily. I will leave the link in the description box down below, so if you want, you can also check that out. With this tool, you can see how many hours you have spent working on your goals. It gives you a broad perspective of your efforts and keeps you honest. I want you to be that brutally honest with yourself and see with your own eyes. Are you keeping promises to yourself? Are you really extracting 5 to 8 hours of studying daily? In the beginning, you might get easily distracted and won't study as much as you would expect from yourself. But give yourself few months, and with time you will see that you can do anything. It just your brain needs time to adjust. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. By studying 3 to 4 hours a day, you're not gonna clear the exam. And studying 14 hours a day is also wrong. As Chanakya put it, Ati Sarvatra Varjate. Excess of anything is detrimental. Even what you're doing is studying. You will burn out. Listen to the legend and run as if you're running for a marathon, not for a 100-meter race. You do not have to clear the exam, but you have to become the student who clears it. If you really want to clear the exam, then start changing your identity. Right now, you are someone who wants to clear this exam, and you have to become someone who clears it. Now, how do you become this person? The answer lies in habits. Because life at atomic level is habits. Because it doesn't take long for impulses to become your habits and habits to become your identity. So do not take these seemingly normal habits as nothing. That would be a monumental oversight. We have this perception that to drastically change our lives, we have to do something big. But just by changing seemingly normal habits, you start to see exceptional results. So if you want to clear the exam, then you have to adopt the habits of students who have cleared the exam. Now go on YouTube and watch videos of all the aspirants who have cleared the bank exam. Put your ego aside and listen to them very carefully and write down all the habits of them regarding studies. If they study 7 hours a daily, you also study 7 hours a daily. If they wake up early, you also wake up early. If they give mock papers, you also give mock papers. It will be hard because your old identity will try to drag you down. It will tell you that you know better, but don't fall for it. Number 6, focus on 1% improvement. One of the things I struggled with in English is grammar rules. My vocabulary is good, my reading is good, I'm also fluent in speaking, but when it comes to memorizing monotonous rules, I'm really terrible at it. No matter how much I tried, I was seeing no progress in that department. Then one day I read about 1% improvement. An idea came to my mind. I decided that I will memorize only 4 rules each day. Within a month, I saw significant change. Within few months, I almost memorized all the important rules. Now, why do you think this technique works? The reason is that you don't have to do a whole lot each day to expect improvement. You can just focus on 1%. It's easy to overestimate what we can do in one day and underestimate what we can do in a year. Instead of focusing on the fact that I haven't memorized all the rules, I chose to focus on the fact that I have memorized 4 more rules today. The difference a tiny improvement can make is just astounding. So if you are struggling with any subject, try to become better at it 1% each day. Don't try to become an expert in just one day. Number 7, eat frogs early in the day. This is a golden piece of advice that has been saving me from trouble for years. It means that always start your day with the most important and hardest task. I used this strategy to overcome a lot of my fears. Like in the beginning, I was afraid of mock papers because I used to get really bad numbers and it used to discourage me a lot. So I used to give mock papers the first thing in the morning. That way I have faced my worst demon first thing in the morning. And now I can relax for the rest of the day. I use the same strategy to overcome my fears of puzzles, data interpretation, and many other things. I would do them as early as possible, and within months I would realize that I'm not that afraid of them anymore. So whatever you fear the most and you know it is important for you, do them as early as possible. This will benefit you for the rest of your life. Number 8, be consistent. Intensity won't get you much further in life. So instead of trying to do everything in just one day, try to make a habit of showing up daily. Consistency is the key. Let me show you a graph so you would understand what I'm trying to say. People who show up 3 days a week never clears the exam. I know this. Don't waste your year. Number 9, time blocking. Time blocking is a time management method that asks you to divide your day into blocks of time. And each block is dedicated to accomplishing a certain task or group of tasks, and only those specific tasks. You need to make a checklist or a schedule for every day where you dedicate each hour for a certain task. So when you get distracted, you will know what you're being distracted from. Suppose you have dedicated 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. for data interpretation, right? So now when you find yourself scrolling on social media around that time, you will know that you're wasting your time which you have dedicated to data interpretation. That is why time blocking is so important. So every day make a sort of checklist. For example, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. speed mathematics, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. 10 puzzles, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. data interpretation, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. ratio proportion, something like this. Make a proper checklist for the whole day. It will really help you. Number 10, life is not about one thing. Life can never be about one thing. There's more to life than just studying, just working, just hustling. You need to learn how to manage your time so that you can not only study or work, but also live your life. Delaying gratification for some ideal future is a justifiable approach. I totally get it. But compromising your health, your well-being, your sleep to increase your productivity hours is ridiculous. Your waking hours are more than 12 hours. Use those as efficiently as possible. Even if you leave 4 hours for bathing, eating, and some other chores, you still have 8 hours and they are more than enough. What I'm trying to say is that sacrifice your scrolling time, not your sleep. Compromise on your entertainment, not on your health. Procrastinate on your break, not on your happiness. Be happy with the process. Don't tie all your worth to a result. There lies your strength. But if you get happy only with the desired result, then you will always stay miserable. If you are a serious aspirant, then let me tell you, despair will knock on your door. You will go through several failures. You will feel disappointment. People will say things about you. Instead of thinking, what if I don't achieve my dream? Think, what if I never give up? Then what will happen? I hope you learned something today. May you be happy, healthy, peaceful, and always protected from harm. If you have any questions, please don't forget to ask them. I will try to answer them as much as possible. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.